Hey, we're back with another video. It's 12:57 p.m. It is November 6th, Wednesday afternoon. Losing track of the time. I know I got 2 more days to Friday, so I'm just kind of counting my time here. No, it's not. Work wasn't bad today. I'm glad today's over with. I just really. It's not the job necessarily. Okay. I mean, sure, I'm upset because I'm not used to being isolated, and I feel like it is a form of the abuse, is to be isolated. Like, they kind of quarantine you because they feel like something's wrong with you, or trying to shame you in some way, or punish you, which is ridiculous. This is one of the abusive tactics that you get when you're dealing with human trafficking. But it's today. I just woke up feeling drained. I'm like, I'm just really tired of the whole thing because I've been thinking about so much of it. Like, throughout the evening. Last night, I hardly slept. I was like, okay, so then this means that Jim Culligan did this, and this. And it's not the kind. I'm not the kind of person that wants to dwell on things that happened in the past, but the situation is now. People think, oh, I'm not saying that I'm not grateful, because I know there's a lot of people who are in really bad situations. Okay, I have a roof over my head. I'm very, very grateful for that. Okay, but I feel as though when people really care about you and when they don't. If people really care about you, they care about what is good for you, what you want to do in your life. They don't make these decisions for you. And I know that the whole intent was malicious. It wasn't just him thinking, oh, he just assumed I was Christian or I was belonging to his religious organization or whatever. It was more than that. It was a literal hate crime, to try to one up me. And if my sister Tanya was so competitive, which I believe that she was, okay, like I said, I had no idea, but she was so competitive, good for her. You know what I mean? Then I guess you won. If it's about having a bachelor's degree, then you won. Good for you. But I didn't ask to be a part of this. I didn't ask to be it. I literally left home, when I was growing up, moved here when I was in my 20s. I was getting close to my 30s. Yeah, when I moved here back in 2000. Yeah, 2000, August of 2000. And maybe I was naive, thinking that knowing how to do your job, being a bit above the rest in terms of having more skills or whatever, made a difference. That mattered to me, and I worked hard. And every time I'd get to the workplace, guys would sabotage my life with your garbage. I just feel like, when you think about someone doing that, just somebody having no regard for what you needed, and then going and turning other people against you. Like, when I was with Joel, like, Joel and I never talked about how my hair. Like I said, he helped me shave it off one time, a little after I moved back here in 2009. We never had an issue about it. But then you guys come in and you fill his head with a bunch of stuff. I mean, obviously he was with his mom anyway, which is weird, okay? But still, it's like you come in and you bring this drama, this unnecessary stuff. It's none of your business. You know what I mean? And cause all this heartache, all this pain, unnecessary pain. I cannot get over it, And like I said, it's not because I have a sentimental attachment. It's like, why in the world would you do something like this? I can't even, I did a good job for the farmer. I did a very good job for the farmer twice. And after that, when I was working over at H.M. Holloway, I ended up losing my job. And I was told by Polly that I was making too much money. Now, I think personally, Tanya, my sister Tanya, because I do remember seeing her that holiday season. And I think she got in touch with Polly and kind of said something. Maybe because that job was arranged by somebody behind the scenes. And my sister was jealous. She's my nemesis, and I never realized that she was. I figured she was living over in Montrose, raising her 2 kids. I never thought 1 minute what she was doing, what she was thinking. Did she understand Excel? I never really knew. I knew that she went to, I believe, the junior college that that was in our town when I was growing up after she got out of high school. I think she graduated in 1980 or something like that. I know she did that, but what she was doing, I never, ever had any conversation with her about any of that. And maybe she thought that, I was just kind of keeping things from her because I was just trying to be like, it had nothing to do with that. It was like, you're over here. We don't talk about those things. As far as I know, or always believed, Tanya had this idea of me that all I ever liked to do was tell jokes, which I've always liked telling jokes, okay? But she had this perception of me, so I never felt comfortable talking to her about serious issues, whatever. We did talk about some, like, weird conspiracy theories before and stuff like that, but she was never somebody that I felt like I would confide in. She was not like my big sister. I do not ever recall sharing important moments of my life with this woman, like ever. Okay, we were 10 years and 1 week apart, Tanya and me. All right, so the idea of like having that sort of relationship is odd. Okay, it happens. I mean, some people do love their families like that, like they love no matter what the age or whatever, and there's a certain level of closeness. Okay, but when you're 10 years apart from another person, when you're 10 years old, this person's in their 20s, they should have completely different interests. But I know for whatever reason, she's always had this very odd attachment. And I think it's very strange and I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? And then when she got together with Jim, it just kind of evolved into all this. So I was thinking today about, this whole week I've been thinking about how my behavior relates to this abuse that I've been receiving all my life. And I'm not the kind of person, I really get irritated when I see people telling their stories or their life experiences, and they're always tragic. I mean, people's lives are tragic, okay? They are. Existing is tragic in general, okay? But I'm not trying to like get sympathy or anything like this. But when I think about all the years that these people have been like sabotaging my life, keeping secrets, and thinking that this was like a great little game or something, it's like it shows you had no concern about me. And you probably didn't give two shits about my son either. And there is no love in this family. I understand that, okay? But I could have had a better life. This is what gets to me every day. I could have had a better life if it wasn't for these people. If it wasn't for my stupid sister Tanya, who feels like Tanya wants a piece of the pie. Okay, I mean, a lot of people, they grow up with this idea of this American dream. Okay, everybody does. And for whatever reason, they're constantly pounding this is what we need in order for us to be respectable human beings. We have to have this, and this. It's not about that with me. It's about survival with me. I'm thinking, okay, this is my skill level. This is what I can do. This is what I can earn. This is what I need to do. That's what I'm going. And that's what my goal was, okay? I'm sorry. I mean, it's not anymore. I don't really know what my goal is at this point. But my point is that's what it was. It was a very simple thing, And so for some people, they do. They think that they think that it's going to give them sort of clout or whatever. I can't possibly ever have that sort of clout. Meaning I could never be like, somebody who has all this prestige. So I think everybody gets sucked into wanting those things, and I think that piece of paper, bachelor's degree, has made my sister a little bit pretentious. She's very proud of herself, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't be, okay? But, and I think sometimes when you say that you're not somebody who supports the idea of college, people think, oh, you're rebelling, because to a lot of people that's just the system. You go through the school system, you go to college in order to be looked upon as respectable. You have to go through this particular institution, and that's not true. Many other people have gone different avenues of methods of education. I think sometimes, like my sister, I will say that college is mostly promoted. It is promoted mainly because it's mainly because that colleges have become a money-making institution. Is pretty much the reason why, okay? Because there's a lot of jobs, in the past that were not necessarily associated with any degree at all, okay? So there's also people who go to things like trade schools to where they learn that specific skill instead of learning all these or taking all these other required subjects. They're able just to focus on the nuts and bolts of what they're going to learn for that specific. So some people do that as well. You know what I mean? Some people go to tax schools, specific tax schools. And can they go out and compete in the job market? Yes, they can. But I think a lot of people get, and I do understand, okay? But you have to understand, I started off wrong to begin with, okay? So I had issues with you guys' bullshit growing up, okay? So then I ended up having a child. And then I moved, you know, and I started picking myself up and figure out, okay, I need to do this as I go along. Okay? I need to do this as I go along. It's completely possible. I see a lot of other people doing it. But you don't understand it because you, in your mind, this is the only way people, I don't know who you've ever spoke to, you know, but if you look around, that's not true. Okay? Especially for women my age and older. Okay? Or men for that matter, okay? It's a dying breed, I understand that, okay? But still. Okay, and that's not me saying, well, I'm just chucking off, I don't believe education is important. I do believe education is important. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who are wasting their time on education, meaning that it's not really giving them the results that they're looking for. There's a lot of people who are targets with master's degrees, right? They can still be a target. Is it doing them any good? You know, the people that got involved in this, shouldn't they be more knowledgeable about certain things that relate to the administration of, like, you know, personnel files and stuff like that? Shouldn't that be? I mean, shouldn't they know more than me in that situation? If they're master degrees and they got all this other stuff, shouldn't they know more? You know, instead of just pushing paper and thinking that because a relative is a relative, they have some sort of rights or whatever, and all the things that you're asking and requesting these people to do are violations of basic employment laws, like the whole religious thing. Okay, you know, trying to hold people back because you want to provide this blessing, the blessing that you want to provide, and you're going to act like God gave it to somebody. Okay, it's got nothing to do with that, but it's against the law. Okay, it's the whole issue about the hair stuff. That's sexual harassment. Okay, when you're sitting here trying to imply that somebody's trying to get a guy, or you're going to imply that somebody's going in, no, some people are just well groomed. I'm groomed. I'm going to continue being groomed. Okay, why? Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, some people prefer to be groomed very little. Okay, I know, like the guy who took my idea over at the farmer's place, I would say that he's in that category. Okay, I'm not trying to cut him down, but that's pretty much the way it is. Some people don't believe in wearing flip-flops to work. You know what I mean? Some people believe in how you feel on the outside is a reflection of how you may not feel that way on the inside, but it helps to generate that mood. It does, okay? It's not about sexual attraction. I'm assuming that Stephen Lyles was stalking me at the same time that you guys were stalking me, and somehow or another this whole issue got collided or something. The stories collided, and then you thought that I was seeing him, and I wasn't seeing him. But I will tell you what, he has every right to see me if he wants to see me. Okay, and I would be more than happy to have him come over and spend time with me. And you have no right to threaten him, tell him that you're going to threaten him with a lawsuit, or that I'm in some sort of investigation. No, here's the thing. If it was coming down to a lawsuit, I should be suing you. Okay? We should be going to court. Actually, I should be suing the employers, because ultimately it is their fault. But it is your fault as well, because you are a stalker. Okay? You are a stalker. You are a domestic stalker. Okay, and these employers have helped you do what you did, okay, for reasons that are against employment law. You cannot prevent people from seeking employment based on religion. You cannot sit here and tell I'm an African American woman, okay? We have issues with our hair, okay? We just do, okay? And then saying that you can't be well groomed, you know, I think you cannot bring your jealousy issues into the workplace, okay? It's ridiculous, okay? I'm not, or assuming that, you know, she shouldn't get a job right now because she might get into a relationship with someone. I'm not going to get into a relationship. I don't trust anybody anymore. Like I said, after this gang sucking thing, and not just that, seriously, I like being by myself. Now, if Steven wants to come by and see me, and I don't care if you have an issue with him being mentally whatever, I want to experience that for myself. I want to spend time with him and get to know him. That's my choice. It is. You know, whatever happens, happens. And you know what? That's fine with me. You know why? Because I don't care what other people think. I want to live for my happiness. And some people will say, well, that's unrealistic. You know what? Obviously, because I'll tell you what, people will attack you out of the blue and stalk you over and over and over again, show no mercy, be absolutely ruthless when you are doing what you have every right to do. And I have every right to live my life however I want. You know, I'm sorry if, you don't believe in my method of doing whatever. I do the best I can do. I did the best I can do. Okay? Considering, and I could have done better if I wasn't always consumed with anxiety and worried about me losing my job. Things could have been so much better had you and your dumbass husband not involved yourselves. Because you guys are just nothing but baggage. Get the fuck out of my life already. But anyway, so I was thinking about why I behave the way that I do now. Okay? Because I look at people and I've just become like, what is the point of even knowing most people? If they have any association with my family, I don't keep your distance from me. I don't want your bullshit coming into my home. Okay, I have been oversensitized with their drama and their bullshit, with their fucked up shit, their mind games, their competitions, their religious wars. And that's exactly what it was. It's a religious war, a hate crime. And I had no idea. And all this big circus that you're causing is all because you're unhappy. And then you encourage other people because, you have to be the ringleader and use this whole religious thing. It's so funny because there was another girl on YouTube. I didn't subscribe to her channel, and not because I didn't want to give her videos credit, because they do deserve credit, okay? Just I'm trying to not think about the gang stalking issue. Every once in a while, I'll stumble upon a video, okay? This girl left a comment on my video. So I checked out her channel, okay? I will probably watch more of her videos when I get the chance or when I feel like it, okay? But right now, I'm personally making it a habit not to subscribe to any more gang stalking related channels. Why? Because I want to forget what happened to me, okay? And I'm not going to try to purposely, add this back into my life. I'm trying to get it out, okay? I don't want to focus on it anymore. Although, like I said, what else is for me to think about, right? But I do things, I'm getting off the subject, I do that a lot. I think the reason why I behave the way that I do is because when I was growing up, I don't like asking people for anything. I really don't. I don't. And I think it's because maybe I think my sister Tanya is the kind of person, she is extremely moochy. And meaning she likes to inconvenience people, or she asks things of people that are ridiculous and just bizarre. And I think it has something to do with her mental issue, probably, I'm assuming. But I just remember, people wanting me to do favors for them and then thinking that I was going to do something for them in return. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to ever, I never asked you to help me find a job. You know what I mean? And then, but that's what you're telling people because you feel like you know so much about the world and you're so experienced. Let me tell you something. You basically almost committed a murder. Okay? With your stupid religious bullshit, your insecurities, and you've also made it very difficult for me to recover. Or were you hoping to ride on my back the rest of my life and just continually find me jobs until the day I die? Was that the plan? You were going to have me live out the life? I was supposed to live out my life through you or some weird shit like that? I never asked for that. Or maybe Jim has it in his mind that all women are supposed to be under male rule. And since I didn't have a husband, he was going to take charge. I never asked him to. I don't believe in the way that you believe. Okay? And I have every right to feel that way. So when I think about all the years that's gone by, I understand my behavior now. Because I don't want to deal with bullshit. I don't want to deal with people feeling sorry for themselves and then blaming me for their failures, their personal failures, okay? If you have your bachelor's degree, then all should be well in your life and you shouldn't be concerned about me, okay? But what you're trying to do is you're trying to compare yourself, so you can feel, if you thought that I had mental ill, this is the funny part, you're the one with the mental illness, okay? But if you thought that I was mentally ill or I was mentally disabled or something, why would you compete against a mentally disabled person? That to me makes you even more pathetic. I mean, the more I think about this, the more irritated I get, But it shows how low you are, okay? What's going to happen in my life? I have no idea. I have no plan. Really, at this point, I don't have a plan because the more I keep thinking, I think I have it all together, worked out, then I can say, and no, I do not want anything from you. All right? I don't. Okay? When you deal with the narcissistic behavior, the best thing you can do is back the fuck away, because I've had enough of your abuse. And you can swear up and down that you're not going to do it or whatever. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to get the fuck out of my life. I don't want to wake up anymore and think about you and your problems and your drama and all this other stuff. Okay, and then what in your mind makes you think that you have some sort of authority? You don't have any right to for anything. Is it because you're the oldest child? My mother never said, Maria, you have to listen to Tanya till the day you die. You are delusional. Okay, you got some serious sick problems. And really, like I said, if you were happy with your life, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know, you really wouldn't. As far as, and this, I'm not going to talk to you the rest, address my stupid ex-family in this video anymore, but I'm just going to talk in general. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing. I really don't. You know, when you are a target, I don't want to waste my time. And I know, you know, it's unrealistic to think that every time you talk to an employer, you're not going to hire you right out there. They're not going to do that, okay? But, you know, the reason why I was upset about this whole issue from the very beginning is because, you know, I'm in what they call a protected class, okay? Meaning that people like me have, number one, a hard time finding jobs in the first place, okay? Being an African American, that's it. People can say, oh, there's no discrimination. Bullshit, we know there is. If there wasn't, this wouldn't have happened to me, okay? I'm over the age of 40. I'm a woman, okay? Look how women get treated in the workplace. They think that they can just fucking choose shit for you and tell you what to do and all this other bullshit. No, you can't. Okay, but you look at all these things that are going against me, you know, and I'm like, I don't understand. The job market is extremely competitive. It is extremely competitive. I'm not even sure if I even have the energy or even I even give a shit anymore. And really, there's a big part of me that says you shouldn't give a shit, because it's not that I shouldn't give a shit about keeping a roof over my head. Just that I don't believe that most people have the ability to appreciate the kind of hard work that people do. And so then what's the value? Why devote your time to it? You know, like, why, you know, I mean, just do what you can do, right? So you find whatever, okay, but I still need to find a decent job that's going to give me enough time allotment, you know what I mean? I'm fine where I am for now, you know what I mean? But, you know, I really want to get my life back on track. Meaning, or pick up where I should have, wherever, because I know you guys have been in my shit for such a long time. Maybe be on the path of my life to where I was supposed to be, where I was meant to be, instead of being diverted from things that, you know, I don't want to live your life. I just don't. You know, you can sit here and you can protest my religious beliefs. You can sit here and talk about me dressing nice for work. You can get all these people against me. You can do whatever you want to. Okay? But you're not going to get any reaction from me. That's just how it is. I mean, and I know what these people are doing. And it's a form of genocide. It is. I understand that. But see, what you're doing is you're trying to bully me. And so if I was to comply with your bullshit, like put on 500 pounds or some bullshit, then basically what you're basically doing is you are submitting to these people, and you're going to constantly live under a system of abuse. Because you're always going to be the girl that they forced you into this particular situation. It's the whole idea of doing what you're doing is based on abuse from a domestic stalker on top of it. You know, so it's just, the whole thing is like, you know, I'm innocent in all this. That's just how it is, okay? And I go through this every day. I don't have to confirm my innocence, okay? But I get angry because this was a senseless act. A very disastrous and tragic. And the reason why is because, you know, I may have done things that were wrong in the past, but I'm no different than any other young woman at that time, or that time, what do you call that, age, space, I don't know, 20s, whatever, 30s, whatever. These are the certain things that people in that age bracket do. Okay? I'm not making excuses for it. I'm no angel. Yes, I made mistakes. Who hasn't? Whatever. But, you know, when you are, I get based, my performance was what I would consider to be very good over at the Farmer's Place. And it was good when I was working over at Organized Sports too. I know her brother used to compliment me on my work. So my issue with these people is always social. It's always social. And I always notice that this girl, who wrote to me, who I looked at her email channel, I was making a comment about some of the things that she's experienced are very similar to what I've experienced. And it was basically, I had mentioned on the comment to her that I've noticed that when people bring up religion is usually when they are either envious of you or they're trying to gain control over you. That's not saying that, people who somebody wants to invite you to their church is evil, or they're trying to control you. That's not what I'm saying, okay? Some people have lovely church services and they are worth going to. In that case, that's fine, okay? But oftentimes when people are jealous of you, they think that if I can get her under control of this religion, I can control her. And I remember when I was still married to my ex-husband, he brought home this book, and it was from his boss. I think his boss wanted to give it to me, and it was basically a book. See, I was already, I had a health issue, so I was really starting to take care of myself, right? And I was feeling really good, and I was juicing a lot, and whatever, taking care of all that. So I had dropped a lot of weight. And so you get nosy people, and they think it's always about them. It's not about you. It's about people. Sometimes it's about healing your body, but whatever the case is, he brings in this book, and it was about, losing weight through Christ or God or whatever. It's like I had already lost weight. So basically you got these people, they feel insecure. They feel insecure. So they're like, well, maybe he was trying to imply that you need to do this under the God or something. And it has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? I think that, and I'm just going to be honest here, a lot of people get competitive when if you lose weight or you whatever. And there's a lot of articles that are written about people who were once overweight and they lost the weight, and sometimes they get rejected from their families, or their families treat them differently. They are always treating me like shit, okay? But this is how it is, okay? And sometimes people get very, very jealous. They get very, very, very jealous. You can tell people, you can sit there and try to say things like, oh, she's a slut, or she gets where she is based on because she's on her back, or they can make all these ridiculous accusations and try to slander you. You know what I mean? But I know at the end of the day, when it comes to my sister Lisa, she's saying it because she's jealous. Okay? You're jealous. Okay? And I'm not the kind of person who wants to make people jealous. I do what I do for me. If you want something to do in your life, you do it for me. Nobody can tell me that by taking care of what you put in your body is being immoral. It's not. Are you thinking I'm trying to get a man? And if I was trying to get a man, what difference does it make to you? Although obviously I'm not. But if I was, what difference would that make to you? Is it because it's going to ruin Tanya's plans? Because Tanya has this whole thing mapped out for me, how she's going to manipulate my life so I could be doing something for her? I don't want to do shit for you, bitch. All right? And that's why you're sick in the head. You honestly think that people are going to devote their life to you? The things you ask to me are so ridiculous, and it's weird but this is what I'm getting, okay? I don't do any of your jobs. Don't ask me for shit. I don't want nothing from you, okay? If you were concerned about your little contest, fine. You won your little contest. I don't know how you made out on the Excel contest, whatever that bullshit was. But whatever it is, I'm forfeiting the game. I don't want to play your game anymore. I don't want it. Don't hover over me. Don't sit here and have people talking to me. You're creepy. You belong in fucking jail. Okay? That's basically the way it is. So, but I notice they'll bring up religion. I notice they'll, I remember getting a few phone calls from some of the people that I used to work with, and they're making jokes about, how they were fat and stuff, trying to make me feel sorry for them. Look, I never brought up my weight issue to anybody, okay? But I get attacked because, I didn't like having an overweight mom. to be honest with you. It's not that I did not make me feel like I didn't love her. There were issues that she did, or things that she did specifically to me, that made me angry with her, okay? But I did not hate her for that reason. But I saw how I thought she went through entirely too much with that much body weight, okay? And I really didn't think it was a good thing. So that's my choice as an adult. You know what I mean? And I don't, for me to even have to justify it. The thing is, you get with these biddies that I was working with, some of the women over at the, what's that one company? The Flourishing Park Place. You had Joanna over there at the, all these girls who are slightly overweight or overweight, ganging up against me. You had Mary Landucci, you had the Selena girl, all these women who are overweight women, you know, and they, before everything was fine, but you planted something in their head and then they sit there and turn against me. Okay? There is nothing wrong with taking care of your body. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with grooming and having a nice appearance. Actually, every book will tell you that. Every psychology book will tell you that. Every teacher will tell you that. Every mother will tell you that. That's just elementary. So then what is it? And I don't like thinking that people are jealous of me, but it's reality. Some people can be jealous of, like, for example, okay, my apartment. It's fine for now. You know, and it's okay. You know what I mean? But wouldn't it be nicer to have a beautiful living room with a sunken ceiling or whatever they call that, and nice carpeting and beautiful furniture? And wouldn't that be nicer? You know, so do I sit here and like shame people, bully people for their home or whatever? No. You know, I'm not trying to fix the situation, okay, because I know there's assholes out there, but I'm just basically telling you how fucked up and skewed your logic is. You know what I mean? And your logic gets skewed when you're jealous. It just does. And I'm sick of it, okay? So find another whatever. And don't think I'm going to renege on my word and say, well, you know what? I really do want you guys in my life. I don't want you in my life. I don't. I've been saying it for the longest time. I've been saying it for years. Okay? When I was working over there at the Valley Manufactured Homes place, I told the owner, wrote him, had a note, told him these people do not, you know, whatever. But because he thinks everything's fine, you know, he believes your dumb bullshit story, you know, and Jim's a white dude, all's well. This little interaction is fine with you guys. But nobody cares about my rights. They're my rights, okay? If I don't want somebody giving another person my phone number, that's my right to say that. If I say I don't want you sharing my employee file with anybody, that's my right to say. I shouldn't even have to tell you that. I don't care who it is. You know? So, yes, I have every right to be angry. I have every right to disown you. Not just on this issue, but the issues that went on in the past. And that just goes to show you that you're a narcissistic person. And what do they say about narcissistic relationships? It's better not to have them. Okay? I understand that my life is going to be very difficult, which you've already made. It was already difficult. It didn't have to be difficult. It didn't have to be difficult. It didn't have to be difficult. It didn't have to be. Had you not been involved in my life. Okay? But now you are. Or you were, because you best fucking not be involved in my life now. But I will tell you that I understand that it's a very fucked up world out there. Okay, I don't trust a goddamn person. All right, but you threw me into a system of like this bullshit, and I didn't deserve it. And no one's ever going to persecute you. Okay, you should be persecuted. You should be blacklisted. Really, you should be the one who's sitting here worried and stressed out and whatever. But you know, no, I am. You know what I mean? It's weird how the whole thing works. And no, you are fucking not ever going to sit here and try to assume that I'm going to forgive you, because I'm not going to forgive you for this. I'm just not. So, you know, but what happened to me in the past has made me who I am now, you know, meaning it's like my reactions to things. Okay. I don't want to deal with insincere people. I don't want to hear any more people talking about. I understand there's a lot of people who are very much, you know, in tune with their church. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not interested in going to church. Okay? It's not my thing. So I don't want to hear it anymore. You know, I understand that, the workplace isn't really that great. In general, it's not, okay? I understand that. But I have to make a living somehow, okay? So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, but I swear you really ripped me. You took so much of my life out of me. And I just can't forgive you for that. I never, I already said I never asked you. I never did this. I never. Things would have been so much better had I not been born in that family. Yes, I am. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I don't like to ask people for things because I just rather deal with things myself. That's everything. I remember when I was younger, I was working at this convalescent hospital. It was disgusting. But anyway, I remember I lived pretty far away from that. It was on the west side of town, and I lived on the east side of town. And this is before I started driving. I remember I'd walk to work in the morning, and then I'd walk home. And I never thought anything of it. And people would stop, and they'd drive by, and they're like, "Do you want to ride?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to ride. I just rather do things on my own." I think it's because I've maybe subconsciously, I realize that oftentimes people, every time I must have asked for something, maybe these people just sucked me dry, in return or something. But there's a reason why I don't ask for things. I don't like people relying on me for shit. I don't. I just don't. And I guess maybe because my family has relied on me to build their social network, and gain some sort of attention, by using me as a scapegoat, using me as the example of the person who's bad. Maria's a bad person when they do the same shit that I do, but they just kind of package it a little bit different. I'm the scapegoat. So they point me out, and then by giving other people somebody to abuse, they somehow get in this social network. As sick as that is, that's how it works, really. Okay? Their hatred, like Joanna's hatred and Mary Landucci's hatred, all their little, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but their little overweight fat girl club is based on beating up and bullying me. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm perfect, okay? I'm not even like completely, I don't have like a, thin rail body, okay? But I know that there's a lot of bullying that goes on, and it is bullying, okay? And it is sexual harassment. Yes, women can sexually harass. It's kind of ridiculous. Like somebody would actually do that. It's like, please stop dressing nice because you're making me feel bad, is basically what it's saying. That's not my fucking problem. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. Hope you have a great day. Not you, not my ex-family, but like the people who are watching this video. Be back with another one some other time. Goodbye.